Hey tribe, long time no talk. Happy October, by the way. So I'm jumping on here to talk about thyroid stuff, right? And just an FYI, obviously not a medical doctor. I'm just a health coach that likes to talk about health things and also do the research for any client or any person that has health issues. And so I've done that for several clients over the years. They come to me with like, hey, I have this thing going on, what can I do? And then just using my knowledge and then sometimes doing a little bit more research, I'm able to come up with solutions for them to start implementing. And so I've actually done this with PCOS in particular, and a little bit of thyroid, just not as much as PCOS. I feel like PCOS is definitely a more common thing that women bring up more so, but there is thyroid problems, and so that's what we're here to talk about today. If you've been keeping up with my posts, I've been using this book for some of my references. And so if you are interested in doing some self-study, then this is the book that I recommend, that if you do have thyroid issues. She goes way more into depth. She actually, struggled with thyroid issues herself, and hypo actually. And she did a bunch of research over all of this. And so all my posts leading up to this came from this book. And today I'm going to talk more about what we can do to start, reversing this issue with thyroid, okay? So the reason that everyone has all these health issues these days is because we've totally gotten away from our natural genetic diet and lifestyle. We're totally gone from it, and we've been like this for a long time. Obviously, there's people coming out now that are a little more health conscious, that are a little more nature conscious, and so we've started blending some things together as individuals on what we should do with our health and trying to reverse things, because we're all aware that our society is very unhealthy and that there are a lot of other cultures that are not as unhealthy, okay? But I'm a health coach, that's what I do, and I am also a primal certified, which means that I look at ancestral health, like where we came from before everyone got super sick. And that's what I'm here to talk to you guys about today. So if you have been diagnosed, right, I'm sure that your doctor has told you to do certain things. And if you've looked at my post prior to this, you may or may not agree with him at that point. And then after this video, I'm actually going to have some supplements and stuff that I'm going to throw out there that might also help you guys kind of get your thyroid back in order. But ultimately, our thyroid regulates our hormones, our cortisol, all that stuff, okay? And so that affects a lot of things in our body. I mean, hormones run pretty much everything. So if your hormones are out of whack, especially as a woman, then you're going to have tons of problems when it comes to your health, your mental well-being, your emotional stability, all that stuff. Just 1 second.
Can I get Oswald's?
Hurry up.
Oswald's cat was outside.
Yes, quickly. Yes. And so, looking back at ancestral diets and lifestyle, okay, so none of us are doing this unless you're focused in on it. And so when it comes to re-regulating your hormones, you have to get back to a lifestyle that is genetically, like we are genetically made to do, okay? All this man-made stuff that everyone's been eating nowadays, the sitting down a lot more on our phones, on our computers, at work, like everything in our lifestyle is counter to health, okay? So when I go into a grocery store and I look at these foods that are totally available, right? And even when we look at ancestral history, we didn't have like all these foods available to us, right? We did a lot more fasting. We had to be a lot more active about gathering our foods and hunting our foods and, all that, okay? So now we're like sitting and we're not moving as much. And now we're going to these grocery stores that have all these man-made products that are full of fillers and additives that our body really doesn't recognize. Like, it really doesn't know what to do with this stuff and is causing all of these issues because of it. We can't adapt that fast adapts to these new diets, and our body doesn't necessarily want to adapt to them. It wants to tell us, hey, like, what are you doing to us? And that's why we have developed all these diseases and the obesity and stuff, because it's telling us like what we're doing is wrong. So when you're going out and you're still getting your Pepsi, your Coke, your Sprite, okay, your packaged snack items, and you're not looking at ingredients when it comes to those, and most snacks are garbage, like, I'm gonna be honest. When you're still getting your fast food and you're not even considering that most of those foods aren't even like real in general, like beef isn't just beef and chicken isn't just chicken, right? And then on top of that, all the food coloring additives, which cause ADHD, you know, there's just so much that is going on with all this food that takes us totally from our natural genetics. And so if we're being honest with ourselves, it's how we are eating and how we are living our life that's causing these issues. And so a lot of us, you know, obviously there's going to be people that going back to a very natural type of lifestyle is not going to cure it all. And that's where things like what Elle went through, you know, a lot of her lifestyle changes fixed a lot of things for her. And then she had been sick for so long that she had to start taking T4, I believe it was. So it's not that the medical industry can't help you, but you should help yourself first and see if you can fix it. And then maybe you're fixing it almost all the way, and now you're just getting a little bit of medical help instead of like trying to fix it with medical help medical help without even changing a thing about your lifestyle. Okay. So what do you need to be doing? I know that was like an intro and a spiel, and I go all over the place because that's how my mind works. But what do you need to be doing? Okay. First of all, if you don't want to do this alone, I am here as a coach, and I do have some openings. So just message me. But what you want to do is get back into primal lifestyle. You need like a paleo diet, a keto diet, somewhere in there, okay? Something that is very natural, something that is protein-based, something that's animal fat-based. So you're getting omega-3s and not so many omega-6s from all the fried food and the junk food and all the man-made oils that come from vegetables, like vegetable fats. Like those are high omega-6. We don't want those, and we didn't have a lot of those back in the day, okay? So we want to get to more paleo, bare minimum eating, okay? Eliminating a lot of grains, if not all of them. Some people will realize that they actually have an intolerance to grains once they're off of them for so long. Eliminating a lot of the dairy, not all of it. And sometimes people can tolerate raw dairy. Sometimes cheeses are okay. But like I said, eliminating it for a while and then reintroducing will tell you whether you have an issue with it or not. You will be able to recognize it in your body. Another thing is making sure that you're, like I said, high protein, high fat, making sure that you have some vegetables and fruits that are hopefully more seasonal. So like kind of pay attention to your seasons. Are apples in season right now? Maybe eat some more of those. Are blueberries, are strawberries, are peaches. Try to stay more so in our local area, and that will help your body. And don't overdo it. Like high glycemic type of diet. So obviously all the processed stuff and the sugars and stuff like that. But guys, can you go somewhere else? High glucose diets or glycemic diets from fruits also aren't great either. So we need to just keep that in mind, that fruits are supposed to be supplemental. Like if you thought ancestrally about your diet, would you be eating fruit all the time? Unless you lived somewhere where it was like tropical all year round, then no. But I've also been to like Thailand for instance, and Thailand, they eat a very high glycemic diet, but you can tell they may be skinny because they are a lot more active there. So they probably utilize a lot of that, but a lot of their teeth are like gone. Like for most people, they're rotting out. They don't really look healthy either. They're just skinny because they're probably more active, lower calorie, stuff like that. So just keep in mind that high sugar diets aren't good for you, and especially if you have a thyroid problem or a PCS or a PCOS problem, or you're in cancer treatments, or you're obese. Like, high glycemic is not going to be your friend. It's not anybody's friend, really. It can be your friend, I suppose, if you were an athlete and you were utilizing all of it. But that's like none of us, basically, right? Like, people have to be pretty serious to look and eat like an athlete. So for the majority of us, having a high glycemic diet is going to cause these issues. It's going to make you a sugar burner, which is going to whack out your body because it's not using an ancestral fuel, which is supposed to be fat, right? Our fat storage and the fat from our food. That's supposed to be our main source of energy, and we've changed it to being a sugar burner, and that's where all these problems start to come into play. So eating more natural, eating seasonally, eating higher protein, higher fat should be your focus. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is like quality, right? Quality of food. Like, I think that's really like the biggest thing we miss as like a society in general. It's like that we think that we can just focus on like not eating as much calories, and sure, like that might help you lose or gain weight or whatever, but it's not helping you when it comes to like being healthy. It's not helping you, because you can eat a very low calorie diet and maintain your weight or be skinny or whatever, but you're still getting PCOS, you're still getting thyroid problems, you're still getting cancer, you're still getting all these other things. So you have to keep in mind that your quality of food does matter. Like, for example, like grass-fed beef versus grain-fed beef. Like, there is a difference when it comes to nutrients, and you can look all this up online. I'm not going to even really go through it, except for the fact that grass-fed beef has high omega-3, which is what we want. We want a higher omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. And grain-fed fat, or beef, or fat, because that's where it comes from, is going to have a high omega-6 ratio. So we want our body to have more omega-3s, not 6s. So 6s cause more inflammatory in our body, which is the root of all disease, right? And omega-3s cause more anti-inflammatory effects, which is the root to health, okay? So we want to have quality of food on top of like thinking about how our body was made to eat and how it wasn't made to eat, okay? So getting your diet in order is going to be very, very, very beneficial when it comes to regaining your health, taking back control of your health. So on top of diet, right? We're thinking a whole lifestyle here, right? We want to have a very healthy diet. We want a high quality diet. We want to make sure that we're eating natural foods, not low fat, not whatever man-made commercials are telling you to eat, because all that's BS. Like, we actually want to think about how we ate before we got real stationary and started planting monocrops and started manipulating all the food. We really want to get back to basics, and also think about the quantity of those foods, because you're not going to be eating fruit all day. You're not going to be eating nuts and seeds all day. Mostly you're going to be wanting to eat protein and animal fats, because that's going to give you most of your energy. That's going to keep you warm, right? That's going to be the food that sustains you. And then the other stuff is like supplementary, right? And in the winter, what does that look like? Like, if you're not in a warm environment, you're going to eat a lot of meat and fat. You're going to eat a lot of broths. You're going to eat a lot of maybe fermented foods if you were storing things. So keep in mind of what your nutrition looks like and getting back to the basics of that. And that's going to solve a lot of these problems that you guys are having, like more than you think, like way more than you think. People think, like when I'm working with them, people think they're eating healthy. Like, they tell me they're eating healthy, but yet they still have these symptoms and they still have these things going on. And in my mind as a coach, I'm thinking, you're not. Like, I'm telling you, you're not. But you're not going to know that you're not until you try it, okay? Until you try it for 30, 60, 90 days to actually really go into your health and journal your diet and really look at things and figure out, oh, like if I eat this, then I have diarrhea, or oh, like I get really emotional. Like, Mom, there are connections with foods that people are missing.
Give me that.
Okay. So the next step of healthy lifestyle. One of the things that we have commonly forgot is our sleep. Okay. Our sleep needs to be like to a T if we're trying to regulate hormones. Okay. If we are trying to fix a thyroid or anything really, if we're trying to fix any health problem, our body needs to repair itself. It can't have high cortisol trying to run all day and be stressed out. And if you're working, hard, it needs to have time to recover. It needs to have time to repair things if you're changing your diet. Like, there's so many things that sleep does for us that I think that we take for granted. And nowadays with all this technology and the lights and stuff, we're totally out of our rhythm. Like, our natural rhythm of sleep is gone. Okay, so think about when the sun comes up and when the moon goes, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? When the sun comes up and when the sun goes down, like, that's when we are supposed to be sleeping. Like, we may wake up to tend to fire or whatever ancestrally, right? But most of the time we are sleeping when it's dark. And so when I went to Costa Rica, actually, they did that there. And I thought it was awesome. Like, no one was out unless maybe you were in the city, which has all the other stuff, right? But in like the ancestral cultural community, like, they went to sleep when it was dark. Like, what else are you gonna do? You're in the middle of the freaking jungle. Like, you're not staying up like battling jaguars or any of that. Like, you're going to sleep. So keep that in mind, that our sleep is totally off. So if you are trying to heal your body, obviously focus on diet like we talked about first, but like, get your sleep in order. Like, you have to recover. You have to let your body repair itself. Like, it's super important to sleep. My daughter's throwing a fit about a jacket. So anyways, diet, sleep, and then movement. Like, that, obviously that's a key piece. Like, we cannot sit on our butts all day. Like, it makes us mentally unhealthy. It makes us emotionally unhealthy, obviously physically unhealthy. We have to expel toxins, and moving and sweating is a good way to do that. It helps us sleep better. So that's always a bonus. If you have problems getting to sleep at night, first of all, it's probably your technology, because that decreases melatonin in your body when you have lights focused on you all the time. And then you're, making your head spin with all this random media stuff. So making sure that you do get to sleep and you are active, and so you can expel these toxins and kind of get your body to re-regulate, push blood flow back into areas that it needs to heal, and just taking the time to disconnect from everything to lower your stress levels. Like, all these things are super important. So what I'm trying to tell you, I guess, ultimately, is that if you really want health and you don't want to deal with the medical industry as much, like, they're there for a reason. Like, you might have to be there, right? You might have to get some sort of supplemental thing, okay? But if you really, really want health, then you need to take the time to take control of your health, right? That's what Bodhika is about. Take control of your health, restore your mind, all those things. So implement the diet first. Like, I'm telling you, I get so many clients that think they're eating good. And to the outer world, maybe you are. Maybe you are when you go to an event and you think that you're eating good. But I'm telling you, there are things that you're missing. You're missing the soy oil that's in literally everything. You're missing the sunflower oil that's in literally everything. You're missing that you're picking a vegan butter that is full of man-made junk, not even real. And instead of getting the grass-fed butter from Kerrygold, like, you're missing things that are compromising your health. And it's not your fault, because, like I said, we've all kind of been programmed to, eat low fat, or eat these plant-based foods, or, just don't eat fast food and then you'll be okay, or just decrease your calories. Like, we think that we're eating healthy, and we're just not. We're just not at the end of the day. Like, even grains can mess up a lot of things in your body. So, and most of us are grain intolerant. Like, we cannot have the grains that are fed to us today. So we have to experiment with our bodies. Not everyone's going to be the same, but I can tell you that getting back to a paleo primal diet and building around that is going to change things for you. I promise that's going to be your answer. This chick did it. This chick did it right here. She went back to a primal oriented diet and lifestyle. She makes sure that she moves enough a day. She makes sure she gets enough sleep. A paleo bare minimum diet. Sometimes she does keto. Sometimes she does a little more cardio, but she understands that you can whack out hormones as a woman if you go too extreme. So keep that in mind. And then she went to the doctor after everything was pretty much resolved. And then she got a little bit of a boost from a T4. I'm pretty sure it was free T4 or 3. I'd have to double check, but I posted it on one of these earlier things, something that she had gotten. But then you can utilize the medical industry. So, look at your guys' diet, guys. Just look at your diet and go start there. And if you have questions or anything like that, please message me and I will help you figure this out. I would love to help you figure this out. But journaling your diet, going day by day, saying on Monday, I ate this, 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 and then this is how I felt at the end of the day. And this is how I felt in the morning. And then the next day, on Tuesday, I ate this, 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 and same thing. And try to start to navigate your health and really biohack your progress. Yes?
My other camera.
Okay, go help her look first for a second. So make sure that you're dieting in a way that makes sense for you. We don't need to restrict calories. We don't need to go on these extreme workout adventures unless you're just into that like I am. But we just need to be sure that we have a very solid baseline of health and that we really are paying attention to the quality of our foods, the quality of our ingredients, if we are sleeping enough, if we are making sure that we're exercising and moving enough, and that we're taking care of our mental and emotional health on top of that, because a lot of things can be mindset driven, not necessarily when it comes to thyroid, but some of the other stuff that you women and men struggle with, like IBS, like that can be food driven, but it also can be very stress driven too. When it comes to cancer, that can be very, because you're in a high glycemic type of diet, and so you're constantly feeding those sugar cells. But it also can come from a lot of stress or genetics. Like there's so many different roots here, but you have to be able to take control of you. Like you need to focus on, okay, stop listening to literally everyone. I guess that's my point. Stop listening to the mainstream people, and really do your research. And like I said, I'll help you do that because I've biohacked myself up to a point, right? And so I kind of understand how that works, but the way to do it is to start journaling your stuff, start paying attention to your mood and your emotions, start seeing how different movement makes you feel. Does it make you feel stressed out? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel too tired? Really start to hone into what you're feeling like and how your body's reacting to the things that you do. And if you can start with a very basic thing like a paleo diet and a paleo or primal type of lifestyle, then it's going to get you so much further, so much faster, and you're going to be able to heal your body. So take control of your own health, guys. That's the point. Take control of your own health. Take the time to really think about what you're eating. Write it down and figure it out. And if you need help, contact me. That's what I'm here for. So looking at the comments here, I am screen recording this, Ashley, so I think I'm going to upload it and then I can send that to you and then people can watch it. Anybody have any questions, by the way? Drop me a question because I'm looking at comments now. Christina, look at the belly. Mama, yes. Mama, 20 to 21 weeks right now, so.
Mama, can I run outside and get the wood?
Yes, you can run outside. Midwife came today, so everything, the heartbeat's sounding good, my blood pressure's good. I have an ultrasound tomorrow, so I'm going to see the baby and confirm the gender. So I'm excited about that. Yes, Kerrygold is definitely the best butter. And I go to Costco now, so there is one, I think it's called Irish butter, but it is exactly like Kerrygold. It's just a little bit cheaper. So if you guys, by the way, need cheaper food, like grocery options these days, first of all, buy your beef from a local farmer, because you buy literally all the cuts and you get it for one single per pound price. So that includes your steak, your chuck, your organs, if you're into that kind of stuff, like literally everything. So much cheaper that way. And then also go to Costco, because you buy in bulk, and then I have like backup food forever. And they have so much organic stuff there. And I go one time a month, so it's totally worth the drive. And I just get everything for the month, and then I'm done. And I always have stuff in my storage room, because I don't, like, you buy in bulk. So that's pretty cool too.
I'll find
so if you guys have any other questions outside of this video, I know that was kind of short and sweet, but I'm not a doctor. Like, I have some supplements coming up for you in the next few posts. Like, so I have a little more information coming. And like I said, you can always message me. But I handle the health side of it. Like, if you guys want health, then go back to basics and you will find health. This chick did it. That's who I'm referencing. And that's what I always preach, is getting back to basics, getting yourself in order. And I think you'll have a great experience going that way. So nice seeing you guys again. I'll be back. I plan on talking about this book in the very near future. I'm almost done. I have like that much left. And it is different. It's going to be different for this page. It is about femininity, not like, not like the, you know what I mean? It's a femininity, like being a real female and not taking on this hierarchy of feminists, okay? So I'm excited actually to talk about this book, because it makes some really, really, really good points. Like, I'm impressed with this book, all the history around feminism, and, another time, subject for another time. I've also been studying to be a doula still, so kind of working my way through this one. And then obviously I'm a mom, so this is really interesting. If you're at all interested in homeschooling and doing it more nature-based, this is so good. It's written by a therapist or a psychologist. Yeah, occupational therapist. And she talks about how kids need to play outside more, which I totally agree. And all the crazy stuff that has happened to kids because they're not playing outside, which is really sad actually, because they're just not as athletic. They can't problem solve like they used to be able to. Like, there's so many bad things about not letting a kid just play, which is crazy, but nature, right? Like, that's how we were supposed to be raised, but who knows? Ashley, Costco, I go to the one just past Carmel. I want to say it's Michigan Road or 86th Street. I don't know. There's two of those there. So it's like it'll be like 45, 50 minutes from you. But I will actually send you that Costco. And then I will send you the name of the book so you can read it. Where is that? I don't know. It's called Eve in Exile by Rebecca Merkel. But I will send you that too. So if you guys have any more questions, let me know. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. You guys have a wonderful rest of the week. And I will see you soon for the next lives coming and the next other stuff I got going on. So bye.